When you think of Vikings, what comes to mind? Horned helmets, bloodthirsty warriors raiding villages, ships crashing through stormy seas. Hollywood made them terrifying, unstoppable, savage, and simple. But the real Vikings were nothing like that. Their story is far stranger, more sophisticated, and in some ways, more unsettling. In the next 8 minutes, you will discover the truths that movies and history books rarely mention. The real warriors, traders, explorers, and innovators of the medieval world. The Vikings were far more than pirates. They were farmers, fishermen, craftsmen, and families living in cold, rugged lands across Scandinavia. In small wooden homes, surrounded by harsh weather and endless wilderness, they cultivated barley and oats, raised livestock, and built tightly knit communities. Yet unlike many of their neighbors, they were also extraordinary sailors. Their longships, sleek, fast, and flexible, allowed them to travel thousands of miles across open seas and narrow rivers, reaching places no one expected. And no, they didn't wear horned helmets. That image was invented centuries later. In reality, Viking warriors wore simple iron helmets, leather armor, and carried shields and axes designed for both raiding and defense. Raiding was a part of their life, but not the whole story. They traded across Europe, Asia, and even the Middle East, returning home with silver, spices, fabrics, and new ideas that shaped their culture. The Vikings were innovators. They refined shipbuilding, navigation, and even diplomacy. Leaders formed alliances, negotiated treaties, and sometimes married into foreign royal families. They were not mindless brutes. They were a culture adapting to a complex and rapidly changing world. Yes, they raided. But the truth is that Viking raids were not chaotic or random. They were calculated, strategic, and aimed at wealth, not destruction. Warriors targeted monasteries, towns, and trading centers because that was where treasure could be found. Silver, gold, and valuable goods were the goal. The terror they inspired came from speed, surprise, and the shock of seeing fierce warriors appear from the sea, seemingly out of nowhere. Hollywood loves to portray Vikings as relentless pillagers. But most Viking communities were small, organized, and deeply connected to their environment. When they were not raiding or trading, they were farming, fishing, crafting tools, telling stories, and raising families. Their society valued honor, skill, reputation, and law. They held assemblies called things, where disputes were settled and decisions were made. Social rules shaped daily life far more than violence. And yes, they could be brutal. But so was every medieval society. Their frightening reputation spread faster than their actual deeds, magnified by fear, myth, and exaggerated stories told by those who survived their encounters. But exploration was the Vikings' greatest achievement. They were among the first Europeans to set foot in North America, centuries before Columbus. Leif Erikson's expedition to Vinland showed their ability to navigate open oceans with remarkable skill, using the sun, stars, landmarks, and even special sunstones to find their way. They settled in Iceland, Greenland, and regions of Russia, building new communities far from their homeland. In Eastern Europe, Vikings, known as Varangians, created trade routes that connected the Baltic Sea to the Black Sea. They traded with the Byzantine Empire and the Islamic caliphates, bringing home silk, glass, spices, and technology. These networks made them important players in a global medieval economy. Viking women played a key role in all of this. They managed farms, households, and estates. They oversaw trade, and sometimes even took part in defense. Viking society was far more balanced and complex than the simple image of male warriors suggests. Beyond warfare and exploration, the Vikings left behind an extraordinary cultural legacy. They told epic stories, sagas about gods, heroes, and ancestors, tales that shaped their identity and still influence modern storytelling. Their mythology was rich and symbolic, filled with lessons about honor, fate, courage, and the fragile balance between life and death. Archaeological discoveries reveal their artistic skill. Carved stones, detailed jewelry, wooden ornaments, and decorative metalwork. Vikings valued craftsmanship as much as strength. They enjoyed music, gatherings, humor, and celebration. Feasts, storytelling, and rituals were essential to community life. Religion shaped their worldview. Gods like Odin, Thor, and Freya represented wisdom, protection, and courage. These deities were not distant figures. They were woven into everyday decisions, from battle to farming to travel. Vikings believed deeply in fate, but also in striving to meet it with bravery and excellence. Many myths about Vikings persist today. Horned helmets did not exist. Vikings were not mindless drunk killers. They valued planning, alliances, and strategy. And Viking society was not only male. Women held power, influence, and responsibility across the community. The truth is more fascinating than Hollywood fiction. The Vikings were builders of networks, pioneers of exploration, skilled craftsmen, traders, and settlers. Their influence shaped medieval Europe in ways still felt today, culturally, politically, and economically. They were not just raiders, they were innovators and adventurers who pushed the boundaries of their world. So the next time you see a Viking in a movie, remember, the real story is much deeper. They were explorers, lawmakers, and storytellers. A civilization of surprising sophistication and ambition. Their legacy remains in the languages we speak, the places they traveled, and the stories we tell. The Vikings of history are far more incredible than the myths about them. And this is only the beginning. Imagine what else there is to uncover about one of the most remarkable cultures in human history in just 8 minutes.